So, hey.
That's why I'm mostly on. But
Right,
if they're gonna be picky
right.
about it.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. So let's see here. Live chat. Let me go over here.
In morning,
Wait for a
my
couple of minutes. Get your Java on. Get your Timmy Hortons on. We are live. I will wait a couple of minutes just to see if we've got anybody who jumps on the live stream from Facebook. And yeah,
so
welcome,
while
welcome
we wait,
to
hello
May
everyone. Don't
1st.
forget don't forget go to YouTube and sub to a channel called Into the Movieverse that
Into the
we just put up
movieverse.
together. It's a new
That's
show that
right.
we'll be
That's
doing.
right.
Go
We'll
sub now.
share. Yeah, we'll share more about that. But hey, if you're coming into the live stream, welcome. We are live. I am live. It's Margene Holden, and I am live with Sim Pothier. Well, got to get that French accent in there, right? Because he's in
I
Montreal.
have no idea what you are
Pothier,
talking about.
Pothier. So this is kind of going to be a interview slash talk about one of his projects and a combined project, a collaboration that we are doing called
Hmm.
Into the Movieverse. And first things first, before we even get going, we're going to say happy birthday because it's Sim's birthday today. So this is his
Yeah.
birthday present. Well, it's kind of his birthday present from me
Hmm.
to highlight him as an artist. He's an artist. He does special effects. He directs his own projects. He is a writer. He does kind of everything in the creative realm in special effects, for films, for comic
To
books, graphic novels,
animation.
animation, like all of it. So Sim and I met a couple of years ago
Yeah. Hmm.
through another podcast thing that I was doing, and we just started kind of geeking out on the movies that we liked, and
Yeah,
really
we
hit
kind of
it off,
hit it off like we were
kind
friends
of
for
hit it off
years.
like we were besties. So it was really cool.
We
So
took over the show. Like it was
yes,
funny. We just started geeking about all the movies and all the behind the scenes
yeah,
stuff that Brian and Bob was like, okay,
right.
so they're the show now, I guess.
Yes. So we're live because Sim has a really exciting project that he's been working on for a while, and he's got a Kickstarter campaign and a Indiegogo or
Technically on both Indiegogo and
on both.
Kickstarter. Yeah,
Okay,
this
so
is my
Indiegogo
fourth
and
my
Kickstarter.
fourth project on crowdfunding right now. Yeah.
Okay, so first let's talk a little bit about. I want to talk a little bit about how you got into what you're doing, and then we're going to talk about Hellzone, and then we're going to talk about the campaign, and then we'll talk about into the movieverse.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be here roughly maybe about an hour,
Yep.
and just give people the opportunity to jump in and jump out and ask questions if they have any questions, and just to get on. I'm going to check. Let's see if my YouTube is telling me that I'm live, because it should actually inform me that I'm live on my own channel, right?
It
Maybe
should,
it should,
but
but
right now those platforms are. See, I see you live. I just
yes,
want to
I'm
check.
live. I can
Yep.
see that I am live on on YouTube, which is really exciting because I've never gone live on YouTube. I mean,
You're
except
also
for all
live
the
on Facebook.
podcasts and stuff, and live on Facebook.
Yep.
Um,
And you're
so
live on Rumble. You have one viewer.
and
If
live
you
on
look on your
Rumble.
if you look on the top right
Yeah.
here, you're gonna see the viewers
Yep.
on each.
I will see there. So if you're watching on Rumble, hey, how you
Mm-hmm.
doing? Welcome to the live stream.
Well,
So
hello.
first of all, let's talk about how did you get into, like, what was your introduction into the world of art? Like, people always ask me as an actor, like, oh, well, when did you get started? And I'm like, well, my first production was in like grade 4, and I produced, directed, and starred in something at grade 4, and then from then I just kind of got the acting. Like, I was just like, that's it. I just want to be a performer. I want to go on to do this as a career, and kind of geared my entire life. I mean, there were moments in there where I thought, oh well, I could be a professional firefighter, I could be a police officer, I could be a professional. I really wanted to be like a professional athlete or a newscaster, but
Mm-hmm.
as an athlete, I played volleyball, ran track. I wasn't fast enough really for track and field. I was good enough in volleyball, but back in 1983, 84, nobody was a professional volleyball player. So I was like, well, what else can I do that's going to be really great and fun? So so the film industry and the modeling was it for me. Left, college and went to LA at 22 years old in 1987, and that
Hmm.
that was it. That was it. I was like full on into the film industry at that point in time, and realized that yeah, this is kind of going to be a lifelong thing. Never going to kind of go away from it, even though I stopped for the
Hmm.
last 20 years. I've been leading personal development workshops, but everything always brings me back to I want to be in the film industry. I want to create
You're
the
unhappy otherwise.
television. You know what I mean? It's just like that's just like my happy place,
Hmm.
being in that creative space. So like what originally, like how did it happen for you?
You see, me, it's quite simple in a way. My grandma always said that as a the first thing I ever freaking did as a kid was walk and draw on the wall. So
Okay.
I went Neanderthal,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
woke up and started drawing
writing
stories
on
and
the wall.
stuff,
Yeah.
doing my own little cartoons on the wall. Right? She goes, "It's the first thing you were born with a pencil in your hand. That's weird. You just grab and started drawing.
Wow.
You were always drawing." I'm like,
That's
okay,
cool.
and it's
Yeah.
something that's always been in me. I love to draw. Right? It's
Yeah.
just something. And growing up, I was, since I grew up in Quebec, Montreal, which is like
Mhm.
a big hub, which is like, I talk a lot with some of my friends. I was lucky enough to be in that little center of a spot where you have stuff from the US,
Right.
France, and manga. So everything was really accessible here early because in France, manga has been very big and popular and translated in French since the 70s. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Right.
long thing. So since the fact that I'm in French Quebec, right? I'm
Right.
bilingual, so I was exposed to like anime, manga, comic books,
Mm.
American comic books, superheroes and stuff. French comics from Asterix and Obelix to Lucky Luke to all the way to Metal Barons, Heavy Metal, Metal Hurlant. So I
Right.
grew
Right.
up with that stuff, right? So to me, everything that's visually storytelling, it's in my blood. I grew up watching
Right.
movies. I love movies. We've talked about it so many times. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watch as many movies I read comic books. I'm a movie buff, right? I love movies of all type. I love B movies, horror movies, and stuff like that. Like
Right. Yeah.
it's what I grew up with, right? It's how we met too, because they knew I was a big fan of Carpenter. I love the freaking movie Vampire. It's one of my favorite fucking movies, and they go, "Hey, we have somebody there." And that's how we hit
Yeah.
it off.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what I did, and I always wanted to do something in the field. And like you grew up and you go, okay, what else can I do? Because this always has to be like
Something
those
else.
those
Yep.
artistic careers. It's always something that you go like, this is my dream, but what else could I do, right? So I wanted to be a cop, right, for a while. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
be like a Top Gun. Like I joined the Air Cadets. Wanted to be a
Yeah.
freaking
The
jet
jet
pilot with the
pilot.
goal to
Yep.
being an astronaut. Like that was my goal. I wanted to be a sea explorer, so that was also leading to it.
Wow.
Right, I was a big Jacques Cousteau type of guy. Wanted to be an
Yeah. Yeah.
archaeologist. Like that's what I wanted to be, an inventor and stuff like that. So that was where the other things that I wanted to do. But everything part of me on my fiber, it's always about being about visual storytelling. Like
Right.
when I knew that I wanted to do comics, like I was reading comics, stuff like that, that I wanted to be doing arts. It's a mix of reading heavy metal,
Right.
discovering Frank Miller in the U.S., right,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
Frazetta. Frazetta was one of the first
Right.
artists that they were trying to teach me to like paintings, right? And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
as much as I can appreciate the technique, I never liked paintings because it's just reproduction, right?
Right.
But then Frazetta opened my eyes into something else, which was storytelling in one picture.
Right.
So when you see a picture of Frazetta, the guy's telling you like you can't. It's technically one story. There's another painter. I always forget the name, but the painter made a freaking painting of a flower. It's a vase of flower, right? But when you look close enough, you see a little drip of water on the side of the flower,
Uh-huh.
and
Not
in
the
it,
Van Gogh.
you see
No.
a picture of a woman in a rocking chair,
Oh,
depressed on the side of.
interesting.
And to me, it's like that storytelling.
Right. It's
it's so
telling.
important,
Yep.
and it's what I love. So I always then I knew I
Oh,
wanted to do an artist and a comic book, okay, because I love visual storytelling.
right.
I
Right.
love
Right.
movies, and what's the perfect medium? What movies are storyboard that are on film? Every
Yes.
film starts by a storyboard, so technically it's a comic book,
Right.
right? So I
Right.
wanted to learn all that thing, and some of my favorite ever like producers were cartoonists.
Right.
Carpenter,
Yep.
ah, God damn it, I haven't it. Rodriguez. What's his
Right.
first name?
Yeah. Robert
Robert
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Yep.
Okay, and others like not Carpenter, the other one, Cameron. And
Yep.
they all started by being
By
cartoonists,
being
comic book
cartoonists.
guys.
Yeah.
Yes, and
And
that's what.
that's really interesting because people don't know that about, we're in the film industry. So people
Hmm.
don't know that everything happens from that storyboard, from those visual pictures first. It's like I have so many friends that are in the visual effects, and they're previs now that it's previs because it's transformed. For those of you just joining the live stream, if you're with us on Rumble or Facebook
And
or YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. We're talking to Simon Pothier about uh, being an artist in the film industry, in the comic book industry, and it's his birthday today, so say happy birthday. And just talking about some of the things that he's got going on, and then some a collaboration that we have going on. So. But this topic is really fascinating because most people don't know that you go to the movies and you watch a final product, right?
hmm
And they don't know that everything that goes into it, the whole process before, that it's storyboarded out. And it used to be traditional storyboards where
storyboard,
artists
concept
or
art, yeah.
concept art, storyboards, the pictures were there, and
Hmm.
somebody had to literally draw each and every frame of the scene in order for, then the director's like, hey, I want you to draw this because this is the visual that I'm going to follow when we make the movie. When I
Yep.
do my shots, it's like I'm going to shoot from here. I'm going to shoot a two shot if it's two actors in the scene, but that's all written
And
out.
it also helps to plan the special effects that are
And
going to be needed. Yeah.
exactly.
Like back in
Exactly.
the days before like digital effects, so you had
Yep.
to plan ahead that there was going to be a painted background that you're going to need to be done painted
Right.
on a
Like a
mirror, so you can put
matte
somebody behind the
piece.
mirror. Like everything was planned in that
Yes.
way. It's like, to me
Yeah.
it's a very fascinating, like I like that's what I think is I wanted to be in movies and do comics. That
Yeah.
was my entire, I knew it, like.
Right.
and
Yeah.
and for years
Yeah.
I tried to make it, as a concept artist in comic book, trying to get signed by Marvel or DC and stuff like
Right.
that,
Right.
right? Until I reached a moment where you kind of want to give up, so you take like a year or two off, trying
Too
to
often.
figure out what you're gonna do, your approach, what I'm doing wrong. Like I
Yes.
understood that there was something I was doing wrong. You know, it's one of the things that a lot of
Right.
people go. It's like, oh, they're this, they're that, they're this, and I'm like, no, no, okay. Only a stupid idiot tries the same thing all the time and expecting a different results. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Got to shake it up. Shake it
what
up.
do I
Yeah.
need to do different? What else? And then, like I remember when I was
Yeah.
doing martial arts and stuff like that, right? It's the 10,000 hours.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you want to
Minimum
master
twelve
anything, you
thousand
need
12,000 hours actually to be a
okay.
master at anything. It's
And
crazy.
I met
So
Michael Turner in Toronto, and that guy changed my life. May he rest in peace.
yeah.
He passed away very young of cancer. He was in
Mhm.
his 30s, 36, I think, if I remember something like that,
Right.
in his
Right.
late 30s. And that guy took the time. Like I showed up there, okay. Like I told you, it was in that moment where I was like, why, how, and what am I gonna do now? How am I
Right.
gonna change something? I need to do. No, I need to change something to evolve. You know what I mean? To kind
Right.
of. So I
Yep.
ended up going to Toronto, and I went there like I didn't. Everybody was going there with their artistic files, folios.
Like
I'm
everything.
there
Your
with a fucking
portfolio.
paper. I'm there with a paper file with drawings, right, that I ripped out of my sketchbooks and shit, and
Yeah.
all little
Yeah.
like comic book pages that I laid out, right. I show up there and I'm nervous as hell, dude. Like you're there and you're sweating like a goddamn pig, right?
Yeah.
I'm nervous. And Michael Turner's there, and I love him. And if people don't know him, as he's the guy that was behind Witchblade, the comic book. He worked at Top Cow for for a
The
longest time,
yeah.
and then he went and created his own thing called Aspen Comics. So I go to Toronto at the Fan Expo, and I'm there, and I'm sweating like a pig. I'm nervous as hell, and I give him that little file. He looks at me and goes, "Hmm." Opens the file, right? As soon as he starts
Right.
opening the file, he starts flipping to two drawings. He looks at me. calls all his freaking team at the booth, and they all start looking at my stuff. He goes, and dude, like I'm saying, like I was watching him going through files and going, yeah, that's okay, yeah, that's interesting, like
Right.
professional thing. I'm like, dude, I'm there with a little paper file, and I'm like, God damn, they're gonna laugh at me. They're gonna freaking like do something. Like I'm like, what the fuck, you know? Like I'm saying, like you go the anxiety thing. No, no, they just starting there, and then they all gained up. Peter, everybody like started looking like, dude, your shit's good. Like, what the hell? And then they're like, yeah, I was borderline wondering. He goes, don't ever fucking give up. Stop trying to knock at the
Right.
door there. You need to focus on your own IP, because otherwise, if you work for other people, you're gonna end up working for nothing, like a lot of freaking people. And he goes, you need to practice one thing: finish, not perfect.
Mm.
Because if you keep trying to do the perfect story, the perfect comic, the perfect fucking thing,
Right.
you'll never end up doing nothing. 90% of people that try to do a comic book, they abandon it, never finishing it.
Yeah.
You need to do the finished one, that it be shit, right? It can be, it doesn't matter. Put your
Doesn't
first
matter.
piece of shit
Yeah.
out, because after that, the only way is up, getting
Yeah.
better, and learn to take criticism. And one mistake that I did when I did the first campaign, Blood Hunt, that I should have listened earlier on, but it came back to my head, and I'm like, I'm done. It's You don't go back and fixing things. Okay,
Right.
so I was almost done with Blood Hunt, and then I'm like, oh, I could do this better. I could do this better. So I would go back
Mm.
and the book could have been out way earlier, like way before the time that I had put, right. But I just wanted
Right.
it to be, and I'm like, and something hit me in the head, like
Yeah.
like Michael Turner just came back. Finish not perfect. Stop it. So the idea is, you notice something. Somebody say you could have done something better. You say, okay, fine, I'll do it
Okay,
the next
fine.
time.
Do it the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's what I'm doing practicing. And Hellzone, it's one of those full exercise. Because usually I would take a year or something to work on a book. The challenge
Uh-huh.
with Hellzone was to try to do the American approach, doing one page a day, black and white.
Right.
So that's what I came in. I tried to do, like, it's challenging yourself. And every time I finish a book or I go in advance in a book, I learn something else. It's like something pops in your mind. It's like, you didn't see it, and then there's something you go, oh, this is there. I see it differently. Oh,
Right.
there's always something. And when that happens, especially when you're doing long story, then you're tempted of going back and fixing things, doing things a bit different. But I'm like, no, no, no. Let's finish this one and get it done. That's why I did Hellzone right now, because technically before, Hellzone was starting to be a project that was to be with a friend, right? There's a friend
Hmm.
that approached me and go, oh, I have an idea. Technically what he did. He came to me and goes, I have a cool name, and I have the 5-page idea. Like, hey, something happens, like they go into a ship, and then the teleporter goes fucked up and everybody dies and she's alone there and there's demons. Okay, what happens before? I don't know. What happens after? I don't know. That's
I
why
don't
I
know.
want you in. Like, I want you to write the thing. I'll help you with dialogues, and and all this. But then after that, stuff happened in his life, right? And it got shelved for like over a year. I had done 32 pages. I was working on my own books. I was working on that verse 2 that came out. I was working on the next book, Blood Hunt 2. So I was promoted Blood Hunt 2, and he was supposed to come back eventually and run their own book and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
instead of doing that, he came to me and he goes, "It's all yours. I
Yeah.
with everything that's happening,
Yeah.
you're doing most of the freaking do it. Just finish it." So I put Blood Hunt aside and I took that book because I don't want to have like an older book coming out after my newer stuff. That makes sense.
Right. So let's take it back because you stream consistently in
But
your
to
life.
finish one thing that I got diverse. Then
Yeah.
after that, I went to study movies, and
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
in 2012, in 29, in 28, 29, I went to do concept art for movies and games. I was told that I should learn digital art because I was all traditional. So I went to back to college in my
Yep.
in my 30s, and I went to university to study 3D animation and movie production for movies and video games. And that's how all that I started doing some storyboards and stuff like that. And that's where to finish
Yeah. To finish
and,
the.
and to learn
Yep.
scripting, learn this, learn that, and that helped me evolve in my storytelling. Like, it's crazy. Like, I look at my old stuff and I'm like, ooh.
Right. Right. So what was the one of the first movies you worked on doing art or doing concept art or doing whatever? Um,
I worked on some concept art for movies that never came. Like I did
Okay.
some concept art for, but the
So
first
anything that they would recognize.
I did Midnight Wind, which would won
Okay.
awards. It was a short experimental movie. You could find it. That's why I'm on IMDb.
Uh-huh.
And I did some concept art when for a movie that never got done. But it was Logan's Run.
Yeah.
I did some concept art for that. Like I got approached and I sent it to them, and it never got produced.
See, and I love Logan's Run. We got to do. We're gonna have to do Into the Movieverse. We're gonna have to do an episode on Logan's Run, the original.
Yeah, but then after that, I did some
Yeah.
concept art for the Hit, a cartoon, an animated cartoon.
Uh huh.
But there's just something about me that after working on college and university, I just wanted to do comics.
Right.
Because to me, it's no hassle. Like Jim Lee said it worse. Best part, like he wanted to do movies as well, and he's like the best part about comics is you don't have to deal with actors, you don't have to deal with guilds, you don't have it. You're not limited by budget. You can just produce whatever you freaking want.
We're not that bad. Come on. You just got to work with the right actors.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the point I put S, not just actor. Now,
Got to
technically,
work
it's,
with the
you
right.
have multiple actors, and then you have some that have bigger egos than others.
Yeah, it's
Then you
true.
have, then you have
It's
the
true.
budget. Then you
Get
have
that
the
no matter
different.
where you're working. It's part of it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's part of it. But so what was I going to say? I was going to ask you something, and I wanted to know. Okay, so just give give my audience like the different books that you do have that you've already completed that are out there. Show them what you have, because then I want to pop up the if we can pop up the link to the
So
campaigns and talk about Hellzone so that people can
you know what?
go check Hellzone out and push that campaign up over the edge,
You know
because you
what?
have a
I'll
couple
cover
more. You
this.
only have a couple more days on the campaign.
Yeah, I have like another 2 weeks, I think.
Or 2 weeks.
Okay,
Okay.
but this is what I started with. So this is a collective
All right. We got
that's
to
in
get you better
Quebec.
lighting.
Yeah, this is my collective, right? That, but technically, I'll remove it from the bag. You'll see a bit better. With the glossiness. Anyways,
Yeah.
this is Zidara 9, right? It's like a French heavy metal magazine that a friend of mine
That's
was doing
cool.
in Quebec. And I published the first Not the Merc story in there.
Okay.
You see it here in the back. See the first Not.
Nice.
So this is
Okay.
how I started in 2012. Like I did my first fanzine called Wool Dragon, and
Okay.
that you know what a fanzine is?
No.
Fanzine is like you print it on regular paper on your printer and you fold it and then you staple it. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
it's very
Okay.
simple,
Yep.
like old
Yep.
school,
Yep. Yep.
like you get
Old
it.
school.
Yeah. So just to show you, no, no. Here's this is what the original Not the Merc looked like. Hold on. There we go. But it
So
was
for
in black
everybody,
and
that
white.
Mark's character.
It was in black and white,
See it.
and it's
Yep. Oh
old,
yeah, there he is. Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's very old. Like it's 2012. I did that when I was in college in college or university. I
Wow.
think it was university that one. So I
Right.
was doing that as my spare time because, like I was telling you, I was studying in movies and 3D effects, and I
Yeah.
love sculpting. I love animation. I love all that stuff. Right? I still wanted to, but I realized that if I am to be in a movie, I want to be either the scriptwriter, the storyboard artist, or the producer. Like I want
Right.
to be Robert Rodriguez, right?
Yeah. Of course. Of
You
course. Yeah.
imagine if it's not
Yep.
because I want the fame, it's because that's what I am. I create comic books. If you think about it, that's the
Right.
coolest thing. Not the anime, not the 3D animator or stuff like that. And the more that I was into that stuff, the more I crave making comics. I was just
Comics. Yeah.
unhappy about drawing comics. I needed to draw. I'm not happy if I don't draw. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
And I
And
mean, it's that simple to say, like, because in the world of personal development, I teach something called Discover Your Sacred Gifts,
mhm,
and the creative aspect is like it's a gift. It's like the writing is a gift, and it's like you're compelled to do it. Yeah.
mhm,
So and it's like you said, I have to do it. I have to do it. It's
and
not it's not an option.
And this was part of the fanzine that I had done that was published in that book too, because that's how the publisher discovered me. He had my fanzine.
Right.
So that was Wolf Dragon. So he was the last dragon. So that's how I started back into it. After meeting Michael Turner, he goes, create your own characters. He goes, did you ever create a character? I told him about Wolf Dragon. He goes, so you're talking about the last dragon born into human form. That's very
Right.
interesting. So I got back into it. He goes, go to your room. I want you here tomorrow with 2 page laid out. I came back with 5.
Nice.
And he goes, okay, see you next year. So I've been like that for a few years. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah. See, and
Okay,
that's
so
awesome. That's
I did
awesome. So,
I did 3 short story, 2 of Nat,
uh-huh.
1 of Rose, right?
Uh-huh.
Then I did this in 2016 that I tried to crowdfund on Kickstarter, which almost did, but it didn't succeed.
But
But
it didn't.
it was
Okay.
already ready to go.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So that was like the reprint of all those stories that I was telling you in print, and
Uh-huh.
that went into that magazine in
Right.
English and in color. And my color was very meh back then, very meh. Then not crazy, but I published it myself. Right, it was done. I did
Right.
a few issues, but then 2019 decided to do this.
Nice.
This was the first crowdfunding book I did. That was Bloodhunt in 2019. Came out in 2020, I think. No, yeah, 2020. It's an 80-page book telling the story of a hitman. Like imagine like a mix of Dexter and John Wick, right? So
Uh-huh.
the guy has that thing that he likes to kill. He wants to be the most the most infamous, popular, badass freaking
Popular.
assassin in the world.
Right.
He wants to be named the Reaper, right? He has those guns with those little blades and shit, right? So,
Right.
but the thing is, he decides to date one of his clients' daughters, and he sends him to his death.
Huh.
And he goes there and he finds out that the old man that he was supposed to murder was a vampire.
Ah.
Fights back, gets turned into a vampire, kills the old guy, the ancient vampire,
Right.
and instead of being a little sassy little "Boo, I'm dead, I'm a vampire,"
Right.
he goes, "Fuck yeah, I got powers. Time for payback." So he goes for vengeance,
Right.
payback, retribution, and he just goes berserk.
Huh.
And you know,
So I just want to acknowledge that if you're watching us live on Rumble, YouTube, or on Facebook, I just want to welcome you to the live stream with Sim. We're talking
and
about
I, and as
his
you can
early
see,
art. That's really great.
that's the difference of the other art and this.
Yeah.
It's very different. I went full.
Wow.
My storytelling evolved with the college and
Right.
university. I went more
And that's,
cinematic.
yep, yep.
Yeah, I like that scene here. This is the after the first time he's turned into vampire. His bloodlust made him kill an innocent, and
Right.
he's an assassin because he likes to murder people that deserve it, not just innocent people.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So that's why he's technically like a hitman, and he just freaking lost it. He blacked out, and he comes to, and he has that gun in his hands, and dead. So as you can see here, he's like telling himself like I need to get this in control, but I feel
Yeah.
so this.
Well,
He puts her in a garbage bin there
can't
with
see it.
her.
It's out of focus, but
Oh, it's weird because
yeah,
I
the
see a
cameras,
couple
it
here.
doesn't like actually pick up the definition of it,
Mm.
but
But he ends up putting her in a container, burning her so she doesn't turn into a vampire, but leaving all the information next so that people know that can identify her.
right,
So then
right,
there's a whole bunch of stuff, and then you get this type of action that's like martial art mixed with gun and a lot of gore.
right.
And that was Bloodhound. And like I said, this was done in like 2019,
Uh-huh.
2020.
Yep.
I started working on this like in 2017, 2018.
Awesome.
Like it took me a while to just like work everything, the pencil, evolve my style, you could say. Like as you
Uh-huh.
can see, I did a lot of research. And you see the guy
Right,
getting his face
right.
blown.
Yeah.
Like I'm like if people were surveying my internet research, like people face blown off, this that, what does it look like
Like,
when
what does it look like?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Morbid
this is
freaking things.
real. It's real. This is the real deal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, so if you're watching live stream with us, we're talking to Sim Potier. He is an artist and an animator and does so many different things. He's a writer and a director, and he's showing us his work, that his early work. And one of the reasons I'm interviewing him is because we're collaborating on a project, but he's got a Kickstarter campaign for his current comic book that he wrote called Hellzone, and it
Yep.
is being funded on Indiegogo and
Wrote-
on
I wrote, illustrated, and colored the thing.
yeah. So he wrote, illustrated, and colored it, and that in itself is pretty huge because sometimes if you have a writer, they don't illustrate. Like I can write, but I can't draw. Like
Hmm.
I can write stories, but I can't draw at all. Like stick people, not even stick people, like the basics. And when you look at somebody with with Sim's talent, Sim's talent for all three of those things, it's pretty remarkable because especially the style of art that you do. And like you can do anything,
Hmm.
but the level of detail that you have in your work is astounding. Like it's astounding, because
Thanks.
it's like if you look at comic books and, the sometimes the details not always sharp,
Hmm.
right? And it's just kind of like, I would
But
say,
it depends on the production because a lot of
it,
them have to be rushed.
right.
Like they have like a month
Well,
to
yeah.
draw like 20 pages or something.
Right. But it's like when you're doing your own project and you're kind of dictating, like, hey, this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to do it. And then you're taking your
Hmm.
time, even though, it might not be the most, profitable thing in the moment. It's building on a body of work. It's building on your legacy. It's building on, this is my experience so that, later on, like we all do it. Like I look back at some of my early acting work and I'm like, oh, God, that was awful. But, it's like, hey, I took a lot of day player roles because I had to have the experience. I needed to
Hmm.
be on set. I needed to get a body of work
Like they
into,
say, you need to show up.
I needed to show up. So, it's like one of the, people always ask me, so like, what what was one of the highlights of, or whatever, they always ask highlights of your career, and I
Hmm.
was like, and I remember I auditioned for a role in a television movie, and it was literally one line, one line. And I remember Burt Lancaster always saying, "There's no small roles. There's only small
Hmm.
actors." And that whole philosophy of like most actors will be like, Psh, one line. I'm not doing that.
Look at Bruce Campbell and a
And
whole bunch of other people that are famous
right,
as well,
and
and they've been in movies just
it's
doing one line.
fascinating because I, I got the role, and I was talking to the producers and the director, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, I was really appreciative for having the role because it was fun and it was exciting and it was a day rate, and I was like, it was all good for me. It was experience, right?
Hmm.
And they said to me, "You would not believe how many people we auditioned that could not deliver one line. They could not deliver one line." And I went in and I took that one line and I went in and I rehearsed it with my acting coach because I was like, you know what? It's that. And because some were like, oh well, it's just one line, it'll get cut out anyways. And they were like, you're the only one that could deliver the one line. And that one line happened to be a pivotal story moment in that scene, so it didn't get cut out. And I was like, you know what? Right there. That for
Hmm.
me is like, okay, I'm building on my reputation because then those producers are going to remember that, right? They're
Hmm.
going to remember that, which is how I actually got the role on the series Crusade that I did because the director had directed me in an episode of Deep Space Nine. And when I went to audition for the series regular role, he was the director of the pilot, and his opinion weighed very heavily on their decision. So I was like, I don't discredit or discount anything.
Mm-mm.
because you just don't know who's going to come back around. I mean, look,
Yep.
we're coming back around. We actually, I looked back at our connection and how we met. It's been 2 years since we
Yep.
met, actually,
Yep.
2 years. And I was like, oh my God, we met 2 years ago. And we started talking about doing the show Into the Movieverse 2 years ago after we had met. And then we had done a lot of, had a lot of meetings and talked about like, what do we want to do and the concept and whatever and blah, blah, blah. And then
Life happened.
life happened. We've been kind of gone from each other's lives for a year, but then I was like, you know what? Let's pick this back up because we have this great show idea, and
Hmm.
why not? Let's do it because it's something we both love talking about, and I think people like hearing the
And
insides.
it's rare to meet somebody that you have chemistry with.
Yes, exactly. And we have two different perspectives as well.
Hmm.
So, and the show we're talking about Into the Movieverse, which is a new show that Sim and I are producing and putting together and writing together and collaborating on. That takes you behind the scenes. We talk about our favorite movies, what we like about them, what we don't like about them, and some of the
Movie
movies that
reviews
we
and
don't like.
some
And we do,
highlights behind the
yes,
scene. Yeah.
movie reviews, highlights behind the scenes, interviews with other actors, actors, artists,
Stunt people comment. Yep.
stunt people. We're going to be bringing this to life, and it's something that both of us love to talk about. We're
Hmm.
passionate about. Like I love movies. We both love movies. So we're like, okay,
Yeah,
what
I'm
are
one of
we
those
going
that
to do?
rewatch movies multiple times. Like I
Yes,
work on my comics and I have a movie in the back like it's
movie
music.
in the background and just watching it. And
Yeah.
it's like it's so funny because sometimes I'll watch movies and I'm super into them and then I'll watch it again and go, oh, I didn't even see that the last time
No,
I
I
watched
miss
it.
that. Oh,
I
yeah.
missed that. How did I miss that? How did I miss that particular thing? So that's what we're going to be doing.
And not every movie has rewatchable value. You know.
Right. Yeah. It's like,
So that's one of the things I'm like, okay, so what makes it rewatchable and what doesn't? You know.
right.
So when it's more of a character driven story where it's more of an adventure and there's not a much more about the suspense or the what's gonna happen. No,
Yeah.
because when the entire aspect is the mystery of what's happening. When it's out, it's not always rewatchable because you know it.
Yes. Yeah.
It's different things about storytelling that I've been learning a lot just from rewatching movies, and then you go, oh,
Right.
I missed that. Oh, that's why. Oh, that's how they hinted at things because the art of
Right.
hinting at something and like
Yeah.
establishing
They
something before it
introduce something
happens.
and
Yeah,
establish something. Right. Exactly.
and
Exactly.
to finish with the Blood Hunt thing, this is the collector's edition that was on the crowdfunding. You can get it on
Beautiful.
my website. And this is the Amazon version
Wow.
because it's available on Amazon. It's just not the same. It's a pretty good quality. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to diss their quality, but
Right.
it's not the same quality as I print because I
Yep.
print on thicker
Yep.
stock, right, and
And
stuff like that.
what's your website? I'll pop it
My
into
website is inkslayerintertainment.com.
Slayer
Entertainment.com.
Entertainment.com. Okay. So
You got it?
got that. We'll put it in there for the YouTube viewers. I'll put it in there for our Rumble users.
Oh, big difference. When you buy this, they're a bit more expensive on my website than the Amazon usually, a little bit. But they
Uh-huh.
come signed and they're limited edition with their own covers. And this is the Amazon version you can get there with free shipping if you have the it's on print on demand. It's something I tested with my two previous books, except I usually like I wanted to split them in two, but Blood Hunt's there in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
So the next book I did was Nat verse number one.
Okay.
And this is a little
Awesome.
baby of mine. I really love this. Nat's this technically
That's the
Wool Dragon is then has the my first son's name. His name's
uh-huh.
Logan, and Nat is my second born. His name is Nathan. So it's kind
Nathan.
of like I gave them the name of my kids, right?
That's awesome.
And
That's fun.
this is literally my love letter to everything I love sci-fi. This is my baby with Wolf Dragon, right? Wolf Dragon is like everything that's supernatural, King Arthur, all magical and all that stuff, right?
Right, right, right.
And this is the my sci-fi. It's my heavy metal slash all the freaking 80s 90s sci-fi movies mixed with all that stuff that I like so much, mangas and anime. I like it's one of my babies. I love working on this, right? Like I just can't wait to go back to this and Wolf Dragon eventually. I just it's what I like to do. Like I
Right.
said, Hellzone is just like a little break I did to work with somebody else that ended up being my book, right? So I want it out because I technically it was done in 2023.
Right.
I
Right.
just went over it and made it my own, added a few pages here and there, try to keep the art in the same level,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's a different little stylish. I tried to go more American manga type of
Right.
approach, but with colors because it was supposed to be in black and white. I decided to make it in color
Make
because
it
I
in
thought,
color.
yeah.
Why not? Hey.
But this is the first book, and that reprints the first three stories I was telling you from that I showed you before from the magazine.
Yep.
The
Okay.
Zidara there. So
Yep.
a remastered edition of the first story of Nat, and like you can see, like it's a little tweak. It's not redrawn, but it's cleaned up. It's just
Nice.
a little bit more cleaned up with new colors by my friends Scotsman,
Right.
which gave me a lot of tips to improve my own coloring.
Beautiful.
So yeah,
I
so
mean, the
that was a
color's
remaster. Yeah.
amazing. The color
Mhm.
is amazing.
And my printer is insane. Like a lot of people that get my book, they go, "Dude, your printer is
Your
awesome."
printer is awesome. If you're watching
So
us from Facebook, hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see a bunch of you just pumped on the live stream. So say hello in the chat.
this is the second story of Nat. It's in black and white because it's only pencils. And the reason why I left it that way is because
Right.
it's a flashback. Like it's
Oh,
an old
interesting.
story. So I thought that visually that would be interesting. Technically it's the birth of Nat.
Uh-huh.
So I left it in pencil by itself. As you can see, you see Nat right here as a baby.
That's so awesome. I love
He
it.
was born as an experiment to bring back an ancient species. Yeah.
Huh.
And
Wow.
the robot that says that was sent as an assassin to kill him, to end the research and kill him. But as soon as Nat touched him with his metallic arm, kind of reprogrammed him, and he
Right.
became his dad.
Wow.
So those yeah, this you had this story that was also published in the other magazine that was remastered.
Uh-huh.
That was colored by me. See, I
Okay.
leveled up my colors. That's how, thanks to my friend Scotsman, like I leveled up myself.
That is incredible.
So
Like, I
this
don't
was
think
like,
people really understand the colorist, like coloring like that
hmm
is pretty astounding.
so the
Like, it's
premise behind
just
her.
amazing. And to find a printer that can actually capture the colors that
hmm
actually intend
But
it
it's
and
also
for it to
saving
be
them in proper files, having that printer that knows what they're
right,
doing,
that knows what they're
yeah,
doing.
and that will take the time. Because like at first I sent it because usually you see them in CYMK, right? And
Uh-huh. Yeah.
he goes, dude, my printer, okay, works better, especially with colors like yours. If you send me the RGB, I know it's weird, but listen to me.
Oh,
I have
okay.
a machine. I have a
Interesting.
machine that does a little level up of 10%. So when I do this, you send me the RGB, I can get the color as close as your screen. I'm like, oh yeah,
Right.
and that's what it does. Like
Huh.
literally, it's insane. And the premise behind Rose, it's Rose was a character that I created for breast cancer.
Uh-huh.
She was technically created as a poster to raise money and funds for breast cancer back in the days. And when my
Right.
mom got diagnosed with cancer, she had terminal. She was 4, and she had a few months to live. I
Uh,
decided to. My mom was a big fan of pirates, and she loved dolphins, right? So, and her favorite character was her from the poster. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give her your name. Do I give her Elaine or Elena? Because I just think it sounds better with Elena Rose. She goes,
Elena.
Elena. She goes, leave
Yeah.
it, put Elena. And she loves dolphins. She has 2 carnivore space dolphins with her. Okay. And the idea of her is that she was dying of cancer. Her dad was a scientist for the Federation. So he broke the law trying to make a replacement synthetic body for her. They found
Right.
out they had to escape. So he allied himself with pirates. They ended up betraying them, killed her father, left her for dead, and sold the body. And this
Wow.
is her. This is the story of her coming back for revenge.
Coming back for revenge. Love that.
Right?
The revenge story.
And this was the first story that was published in the other things that I showed you before, but remastered, right? And then that was me going back to my world, and I was so freaking happy. So here you're introduced to Queen
Right.
Elrica, and I think you're gonna love her.
Yeah.
She's the blue skin
Yep.
warrior queen, and dude, it's one of the things. Like everybody, all the people that like my book of Nat the Natverse, right? It's a funny thing. It's they love Nat. Then after that, they meet Rose. She's fucking badass.
Yeah.
And in the new one, and after that, they
And they do,
went
and
like
they're like, "Oh,
Elrica.
Rika! Oh
Then
my God!"
then this one came out. They go, dude, Elrica's freaking awesome. Like what the
Yeah.
hell? And
Yeah.
now the new one, it has Luwani, the Metal Valkyrie. Now it says she's everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
And
The
I think
evolution of
finally
the
it's good.
characters,
Yeah.
right? You create good characters, people are gonna identify
And
with them and love them.
as you can see,
Yeah.
that's where my art leveled up pretty good.
Man, that is absolutely gorgeous. Like absolutely gorgeous. Wow.
These colors are from
Unbelievable.
my friend partner and associate Michael Beacon. Like he always colors some stories for me. Like in
Yeah.
Nadverse, like we split colors. Like I love his
Yeah.
coloring on my
That's
stuff.
amazing.
Yeah,
Wow. So tell people
and
how that, give me a link or get a link so that we can put a link in here for the campaign so that people can go check out the different levels that you have on the campaigns, and then they can participate.
here's
They've got a couple more, you've got a little time before
technically you got 2 days before the early bird discount
yeah,
tiers.
2 days before the early bird discount finishes, but it's May 1st today. This is when we are live. So there's a link for the project. You can go check it out.
Okay,
And
me, it's on. I shared it in the thing there, and it says that it's only for
only
Rumble, but
for
you get the link
Rumble.
there.
Hold on. Let's see here.
This is the campaign, but and then after that, here you had the story of when I returned to Nat finally, and I it was a freaking blast. Let me show you. Then you meet that one of the bad guys,
Uh huh.
big giant shark dude. So that
Nice.
was the return of me working on that, and like I said, I created this in 2009. First published the first story in 2012. And that arm of his, it's not a cyborg arm. He's born with that metallic arm.
He's
It's
born
part of
with
him.
that metallic arm as part of
It
him. Huh,
allows him to
that's cool.
create blades with his hands, right? And hack any technology.
Wow.
And he doesn't know much about it. That's the premise. We're going to discover most of his background. All he knows is that he was born of an experiment. His dad is an assassin droid, and he's learning as he goes. And that's the thing. Many things going to happen right now where he's going to discover
Right.
where he's from. But this book is available also on my website
Yep.
as
Okay.
limited edition. There's multiple covers, and it's also on Amazon. But that book is split in
Love
two.
that.
That book is split in two on Amazon. So you
Nice.
have the and that's I did it that way because I just think it's way
Right.
it's a way of keeping my books for my campaign
Mhm.
exclusive type of thing, like a special thing. And it's also a way of splitting the books in different things and making that the merc. So instead of being Tales on an Adverse, because Tales on an Adverse is technically 5 comics in one. So you have some not the merc story, and
Right.
you have other characters in the same shared universe, right?
Yeah.
So the first one is the reprint of the first 3 stories from 2012 to 2015. So if you go by Nat Zero, that's all it is. It's a reprint, and like I said, it's Amazon print on demand. So the quality
Right.
is what it is. It's like going and buying like comics
Right.
and
Right.
floppies,
Right. Right.
and the other
Yeah.
one is it's my deluxe trades, right?
Yeah.
And this is the print of the new stories with its own
It's
little
amazing.
cover. That's not the Merc number 1. And that reprints, then that prints the new Nagdamer Blood Brothers number 1 and Queen Elrica. And as you can notice, the quality of paper is not as this. It's not the same. It's good. Like don't get me wrong, it's
Yeah.
good,
Yeah. No,
but
it's really
it's not as glossy. It's a bit more grainy, but it's
right.
good.
Right. Yeah.
Mine
It's
is
so
just
good.
deluxe. When I print on my campaign, they're deluxe. I
Right.
go all out. Like even the bind, like this is just glued, right?
Uh huh. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah. Yeah.
typical just glued.
It's typical
Mine
glue.
is German bind, so it's full.
Yeah.
It's full. It's cut, folded, and sold in three
And
points, and
so
then
then,
glued.
oh my God, I love
So
that.
That's why you better to go back my campaigns. One, it helps me fund and I can print more books. The more money I can make, the more I can probably reach a distribution deal. Right? That's my goal in the end. If I
Yeah.
can make at least 25K and more, I can start thinking about distribution. But
Right.
right now, this is how I'm doing it. So,
Yep. That's great. That
and
is
this is my
awesome.
last baby, the thing I'm most proud of. It's not verse number 2.
God, it just looks so amazing. It's
This
so
is penciled by
incredible.
me, painted by my friend Inkspot over. Like
Yeah.
it's a mix. In the back, I have Simon Bisley, colored by me.
Wow.
And as you can see, I'm not joking when I mean about the quality. It's very different.
Yeah,
Look at the
it's
glossiness.
very different. Like it's very different. Like
Like
I've
look at the
seen
colors
something that
inside. Like it
looks amazing.
pops. I love to do nice
Yeah,
presentation.
that's
I pay
fantastic.
extra to print on the inside cover, and as
Yep.
you can see,
Yep.
I match it up so that there's
Yep.
no yeah.
So it doesn't, yeah, so it
Yeah.
doesn't look weird.
Hold on, let me just. I'll call him back.
It's
Okay.
like, there you go. All
So
right.
this one has Planet 69. It's a 40-page story in there, 40 something page story.
Right.
So it's technically a double sized book, right?
Yep.
The first 15 pages, 14 pages were colored by Scotsman, the rest all by me. So this tells the story of Planet 69. And no, it's not a porn thing. 69, the idea of Planet 69, it's the black planet, it's the black market planet. So it's where you go for that,
Dang.
buying
So it's where you go
weapons,
for
illegals,
buying
this,
stuff that you're not
robots.
supposed to be getting.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? So that's the name of
Right
Planet
on.
69 because I thought a yin yang,
Yeah,
this like
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
mix of everything, or like planets. What was the Planet Hollywood? Like it's a mix of all
Yes.
type of thing that
Yeah,
came in
all
my
kinds of
head.
different things to put
So
together.
here's what the Planet 69 looks like. So it has a little
Yeah.
moon there with 69 on it. Then you can go
Wow.
buy weapons and stuff, and you have like the ship here from space. What's the name again? Spaceballs.
Yep. Yep.
You
That's
have you have Grandizer, you have a whole bunch of stuff, right? I like to make a lot of cameos in my stuff. So this is the story where technically he gets hired for a mission. That's where he meets Luwani. And you find out that Luwani is that missing body that was sold that was supposed to
that was
be
all
Rose replacement
right.
body. That's why she looks like her a bit in the beginning,
Huh.
but with green hair.
Right on. Right
So
on.
she's over there as the top security person over there.
Right.
So there's a kaiju type of alien that crashes on Planet 69, so they call Nat for help. So that's a 40 something page story.
Right. So if you're just joining us on the live stream, Sim is showing us his artwork, and you can find all of his work on his website, which is
InkSlayerEntertainment.com.
InkSlayerEntertainment.com. It's up in the threads for all of the platforms because we're on Rumble, we are on YouTube, and we are live on Facebook right now. We're going to wrap it up here in a moment, but this stuff is great. Like if any of you are comic book fans, or even if you want to see into the world of, a really really incredible artist, like his coloring
And,
work and how he's put together his comic books, and his characters are just absolutely
and look
astounding.
who comes in.
This is amazing. Wow.
Then
Yep.
Nat contacts Rose, tell her I found what you've been looking for. So she comes in and meets Lawani, and they become sisters.
Wow.
So as you can see, Lawani becomes her own person. You'll
Right.
find you'll find out because she can look differently. She's not a
Uh-huh.
shapeshifter per se, but she can
Right.
alter her features to look a bit different. So
Right.
she changed it a little bit.
She changed a little bit.
Yeah, so it's
That's
kind of a
awesome.
thing that I've been working on this. Okay, so that's Planet 69. Then you get introduced to new characters, DefCon. So
Right.
then you have a little backstory of Luani called Murder Doll.
Hmm.
I can't show too much of that one. It's a short 12 pager, and there's a bit of nudity.
Yeah, let's not. Let's not. Let's keep it on the up and up.
So technically, there's a space station, there's a Federation space station, a prison station there, and there's a ship that damaged ship that comes in with somebody with a a body unconscious body on the thing, and you find read the story to find out what happens.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, go check out his website, and For those of you who are just joining us, we are also, Sim and I are putting together a show called Into the Movieverse. So we've just went live with our YouTube channel, so you can find us
Hmm.
over there, Into the Universe, or Into the Movieverse. Um, I'll see if I can pull the link for our for our new
So
channel.
this is Blood Brothers 2, the sequel to the story that was in the first one. So that's all drawn and colored by me. Yeah, and you see where you see my animation background showing up in there because I love doing those little animation scenes,
Right.
landing,
Hang
flipping,
on. I'm over here trying to find our channel so I
no
can share
problem.
it.
And
I
skip a
can
bit
share
over that
it.
one. Here's another glimpse of
There
some
we go.
characters in there. I love concept art. And a lot of people praises the fact that they love my concept, my character designs and stuff, and I pride myself with it. I like that scene too.
All right. Here we go. Cool.
And this is the new favorite of most people right now. It's Metal Valkyrie. She's a synthetic being
Yep.
who became sentient, and she has a nice motorcycle that can become a weapon that can transform into weapons and full body armor.
Ooh, I think I'd like that.
And
I want something like that.
as you can see here, and if you go on the old campaign on my channel, I did animation for that series. Like I'm so invested into that series that I'm working on an introduction animation, like like a series intro,
Uh
and
huh.
every book I make a little new animation. And check this out. You see like the bike coming up, she breaks into pieces, becomes a full body armor, and then she starts kicking ass. That's the Metal
Nice.
Valkyrie. So this is my little baby that can't wait to go back on. But I took a little break to publish that story that I started working on with a friend of mine, and I wanted it out before I can go back to my
Right.
others because it's like I said, it's a book I drew between 20. I started working on the 21, I think, shelf for a year. Then I started. Then I drew most of it from 22 to 23. Get it? So that's why I wanted to go. I'm like, let's release Hellzone before I go back to Blood Hunt and the
But
rest of my
yeah.
books.
All right. I'm just sharing the trailer because Sim put together a trailer for our movie first
Yep.
show, and it's over on YouTube. It's on the channel, so go sub to the channel.
And
Into
you
the
know what?
movie verse, you will see it.
Before we
It's got a nice little animation
now
uh,
that now that I've been over those three
on
books, you asked me for
that.
this. Sorry, I'm just thinking, talking as I'm
Talking
thinking.
as you're as we're thinking.
I'm trying to keep track of everything. You told me to show
I
them all my
know,
three
right?
books.
I'm like, get this, get that.
I'm just making sure to do everything.
Let's make
Yep.
sure that we got all of our bases covered because yeah,
Yep.
the show's going to be really awesome. Our new show is going to be really awesome. It'll
Hmm.
be a lot of fun. We'll have those
So technically,
conversations
let
and
me say my part about the show. Technically, what the plan is, we're going to be filming a little review part. We're going to be producing little short videos about 15 to 20
yep,
minutes, about maybe max about.
20 minutes
Right.
max.
I'm gonna edit them, put some little movie things in there. And the thing is, since we're gonna be putting some clips from movies in there, we won't be able to monetize it per se, but we can monetize the channel for the viewers and stuff like that. So
Right.
please go sub to our channel because
Go
the
sub to
important
our
part is to
channel.
get at least a thousand views and a lot of viewers. So the thing
Yes.
is, we'll be starting probably a PayPal, not PayPal. What's the name of it?
A Patreon.
Patreon.
A
Okay,
Patreon for
that to
instant.
fight just to kind of like finance us for the show. But first, we know that we have to build it. So we'll be filming it. I'll be doing those little edits and be doing those little card
Yeah.
thing, which is going to be us in the thing, and we'll be making
Can we
T-shirts
show
available.
can we show the video on here?
Of course, you can.
How do we do that?
Hold on. You have the link there. I'll do it for you.
Okay. You do it for me.
Let me
You have
just
to
fix
start screen
this.
share or something.
Yeah, but I need to change it.
You
Give me a sec because there
change
was
it.
no audio.
Okay. Just gonna change it. We're
Because I
gonna
was
show
not
it
I was
now.
showing for just the visual, not audio. So give me a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna
No
do the video
problem.
first.
It's very exciting. I love this collaboration, and we're going to be, you know, doing
Okay,
our
so
thing. It'll be great. So this is, um, this was the first thing that Sim put together, over a year ago when we were like, let's do this show, and then we've had this, and now it's like, okay, we've got a new idea, like the same concept, but we've got new ideas for the show. So now he has to redo things. But this
no,
was our,
no,
this
but
is our
I don't have to redo many. It's just,
not many,
mm,
right?
but
But
technically, it's the same thing. It's the movie verse.
same thing. It's the movieverse, into the movieverse, and there are a couple of other movieverse channels. So make sure you get the right one with us.
Into the movie verse. It's
Into
we.
the
Yeah.
movieverse.
So
In
here you go. You can share. You can
There we
share
go.
it. It's up.
Let's share it.
Presentation. You press presentation. The last one on the right. Go on
Oh,
top. Last one to the right.
presentation.
Sorry,
Here
I'm
we
also
go.
I'm also teaching her how to use this thing.
Yes, teaching me how to use this platform. I've never used
Uh,
Rumble Live before, which is really
gra-
awesome. I love it.
Go click on the
Yeah,
message that you highlighted so you can remove it, or is that me? That's me. Okay, got it.
that's you. There we go.
You got the audio and everything.
Yeah. There's Nat.
Here's Luani.
Who's that crazy girl?
I don't know. She kind of looks familiar.
I think I know her.
Maybe we should have her as a guest.
Maybe, yes. I might know someone who knows her. Woo! Gee, guess the movie, people. So imagine, like, Sim blew me away when he put that together, like, and literally, like, put it together within like
I
three,
think it
four
was a
days. It
yeah,
was like
like a
quick.
week. Yeah.
It was like within a week, and I was like, "Whoa, this is so cool! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited!" Yeah, so I'm super excited for our show. Super excited to bring you the information so that you can go check out Sim's campaigns to be part of the new comic book and get Hellzone
And
to your library.
here's something that you asked me, so we can take it over quickly before we end the scene. Yeah, it's gonna be in the wall.
Wait, I lost your mic. What? Wait, what happened?
You lost my mic?
There, you were muffled. Now you're better. You had something
Okay.
over your mic. Something was over it. I don't know what was
Okay,
that,
that's weird.
but yeah.
Okay, so the campaign right now is up. If you want to share it, this is the Kickstarter. I can also open the other one. Hold on.
Oh, let's see. Where is it? Where
Same
is it?
thing. It's the same thing you have to do. You go on the top right presentation.
Presentation. Here we go. There it is.
So
Yeah,
this is the
let's watch this.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, this is the Kickstarter. Let's watch this so that
This was the Indiegogo. It was funded in February, I think it was.
nice. So Indiegogo's
Then I
done.
launched it. Then after that, I no, 2 weeks before I launched the other one, it was funded. So 2 weeks after I launched the Kickstarter, and the reason why I'm making sure to show it up is
Well,
because they're connected. Okay,
yep,
each have their own variant covers, right? Because that's how you have to do it. But all the funding's connected, so I add up both funding to unlock the stretch goals. So
yep,
stretch
yep.
goal is what we unlock by reaching a certain amount, and then it's a
Certain
free
amount.
goal that gets added to the for the backers. So the first one is a collected edition card that's going to come signed, and after that, at 10K Canadian, it's the I'm going to be making a little mini Hell gun keychain, the gun that she has in her hand.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to
cool.
I'm going to sculpt it in 3D. I'm going to
Oh, that's so
3D
cool.
print them, and they're going to be about this big, like the very like not too big, big enough for me to slide it in your comic
Right,
book.
right, right. Yeah,
And it's
that's
going to be like,
amazing.
oh, great, you painted yourself and put that little cord and put it to your keychain. So it's going to be a free
Right.
little thing, but that's only going to be for the people that back 2 copies and up. So this is the thing that I'm doing as a stretch goal. So this is the Indiegogo. That one's in demand. It's funded, and this is the Kickstarter that I'm promoting right now.
Awesome.
And as you can see, we're
Can we watch it?
hold on a second. How the hell did this happen?
Uh-oh.
We're funded. The same
There
amount
you
of
go.
backers we were
See?
funded.
Before we even went live to share it with people, you already got the funding. It's done.
So it looks like it's the same amount of backers. So it's unless somebody refunded and another backer
And
came
then
in, or
another backer came in.
somebody
Somebody
came
just
and
added,
upgraded. Yeah.
upgraded. That's
So
cool.
yeah,
So what's the video? Let's see the video.
you want to see the video?
Yeah.
Okay. So let
Let's see
me.
the video that you
It's
have.
not gonna work. Give me a sec. But let's just go over the campaign first because I shared it without audio.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's just make sure there's a better picture.
Right.
I'll show the video right after, and I'll use it directly from my YouTube.
Okay.
Let me just open it right now. No, that's loaded on it. Okay, so these are the four campaigns on this campaign. Okay, this is the the regular cover that's going to be at the end of the book. Okay, this is a variant cover by my friend Preston Acevedo.
Nice.
He did the pencils and I colored it. This is what I call the Buns of Steel cover, which was also available on the Indiegogo.
Right.
Okay, and this is the Kickstarter exclusive because Kickstarter live their very sexy covers, especially if they have nipples out. So
Right.
I did a cover just for Kickstarter because it's in my books. It's not. How can I say? There's not. It's not filled with nudity. It's not erotica or anything, right?
Yeah.
But I treat it like the classic type of horror movies or sci-fi movies where there's going to be a shower scene. I'm not going to go out of my way to just hide it. Like when you write like Starship Trooper, there's a unisex thing, and you see their boobs, you see them like their butts. There's no sex. There's no, you know what I mean.
Right.
So to me, it's like I'm partly, I grew up with the French comics and manga. Boobs, it's
Right.
nothing.
Right.
Showing boobs and butts, it's nothing. You know what I mean? It's like a
Yeah.
guy without a shirt in a way. Like, don't get me wrong, tits are
Yeah.
way nicer. Even straight girls like boobs. It's a thing.
Right. Right. It's a thing.
It's like
It's a
the
thing,
human.
man. It's a thing. It's a thing.
So you have all the covers. The stretch goals are right there, and you have like still 2 days to go take advantage of the early bird, so you get a little discount. So
Right.
it's a $10 there or maybe $5 there off the thing, and it's only for the
Nice.
first 2 weeks of the campaign. There's
Right.
four. There's I think four of them if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And the thing that I'm doing on both is the first 100 physical book backers on both campaigns get a free sketch card.
Wow.
So I will draw a little sketch
That's
card
that's a lot of sketch cards.
like these.
Yeah.
I make them pretty quick. Like this is one sketch art I did for somebody from Art the
Yeah.
Clown.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Remember? Anyways, so this is the type of thing you get. You'll get one for free, but it's only for the first 100 backers of a physical book on each platform.
Mm.
So 100 for Indiegogo, 100 for Kickstarter.
Right.
Right. So it's my way of going. Here's a little extra gift. It's like getting free shipping
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
for international people,
Yeah.
giving you a little something that kind of like compensate for it's like free shipping.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
the book is right now. All the art of the book is done. I'm just going over everything right now, doing the little final touch up, adding this, fixing like little things,
Little
right?
things. Yeah.
And right now I'm working on the final dialogues and the final lettering. So the book will be going to print in May. Like that's the thing. I'm trying to do a really quick turnaround with this.
Yeah. Hey, we're already in May, man. It's your birthday today.
Yep.
So
But
it's going into print
I'm on
this
track.
month.
I'm on track. All the art is done right
On
now.
track.
Yeah. So like I said, I will be going like when I first launched the Indiegogo, I was not expecting it to take like 2 months to fund. I was
Yeah.
expecting it to be funded in 1 month because the idea was let me figure out if I get funded, then it will affect the amount I have in
Right.
Kickstarter, right? So I delayed it for like a month because I was supposed to go to have everything done by the end of April and starting going to print by now. But I'm like I'll delay
Right.
it. So right now I'm just taking a bit more time working on the book, and we're going to print at the end of the month.
Nice. I'm
So
just
yeah, for the
so
cover and
impressed. The artwork is like it's just ridiculous how good it is. To be honest, it really is. I mean, it's just like wow.
this was the original concept art, the first drawings I did of the
Wow.
characters. On Indiegogo, it's the exclusive cover on Indiegogo,
Uh-huh.
and
Love
it's
that.
also a limited print that you get with the book if you buy the tier with the print. So
Uh-huh.
it comes to you in color with no logo.
Right.
That's the original concept art that I did.
That's so
Here's
beautiful.
These are the stretch goals. So as you saw earlier, I'm at 5,300 something on Indiegogo. Now we're at 1,000 here. So those two add up. So we're really close
Right.
to unlocking the first one,
Yeah.
which is the collector's edition card. Right?
Wow.
It's something I've learned from from a friend called Billy Tucci. Like I've been on a show, and he's the one that advised me to try and do Kickstarter again
Uh-huh.
because I was just on Indiegogo, and he goes,
Right.
"Dude,
Well,
do
there you go.
Kickstarter. It's its own little people crowd over there." I'm like, you know what? I'll go.
Right.
So here I am. I did it. I
Yeah.
tried it last year, and here's a sample of the pages. So you have
Man,
the first 9 pages there,
they're so good.
and you can also go read them on. I think you can go read them on Global Comics. At first,
Hmm.
I put the first 23 pages, no, 25 pages. But since I've been changing and fixing
Yeah,
things
yeah,
and
yeah.
working on, now I'm on the final dialogues, I went to delete a few pages,
Yeah.
just leave the first one. And, I think there's like 13 pages now
Right.
because it was not the final dialogues and the final lettering. It was just something that the first draft that I had put down just to
Uh-huh.
give you guys a sample. And
Right.
this is the full sample. And like I said, there's no wasting moment in there. See, you see the setup, you meet the characters, and this is what I mean by this is like the nudity in the book.
Right.
That's it. It's just, how can I say it? You
Yeah,
know,
it's not even nudity. Like I really loved when I was growing
it's
up.
not erotic. It's not
You know,
erotica. You know what I
no,
mean?
but it's like when I was growing up, it's like looking at the covers of Heavy Metal magazine were absolutely like they're so beautiful. Even though they're showing figure and they're showing
Yeah,
flesh and whatnot, they're so the
but
artists on
that's what I
some of them
grew
are
up with.
so incredible. Like
No,
it
I
just
like
I
to
was
think
like
that
I
it's.
want my own Heavy Metal cover.
Mhm.
Like they're just so gorgeous.
But you see, one of the things, the design of this character was inspired and like a little homage to Julie Strain.
Yeah, I love Julie.
Because when I first created this in
Yeah,
21, and when I worked on it, the 21, the first concept art, she passed away.
yeah.
And
I
I
know.
really love, and I
I was
really,
like
really loved her.
so
Right, she was a
shocked when she
great
passed.
person.
Yep.
From like, and she was a B movie queen.
Yep.
Right, they used to call her the B movie
Yep.
queen, the
Yeah.
first lady with the freaking leg insured for $1 million. She was like 6'1", I
Yeah.
think.
She was taller than me.
Yeah,
Yeah. She used
she
to be in
was
the
she
same
was
acting
the
class as me.
she was the heavy metal cover girl, right?
Yes, she
Model,
was. I
and
remember.
every metal artist painted, drew her. And when
Yep.
she passed away, like she was married to Kevin Eastman for years. Kevin
Yeah.
Eastman is the creator of Ninja Turtles, and he
Yeah.
was the owner of heavy metal back then.
Yeah.
And when she passed away, and the entire story of, if you know anything, I'll just summarize it. She had an accident, and
Yeah.
it gave her like a deteriorating brain disease,
Yeah.
and she passed away. And one of the thing is, I went, you know what? I'm gonna make a little something, and she looked at it like this. She's the inspiration behind the look of.
Wait, say that again.
She's a bit the inspiration behind the look of Hannah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I first did the concept art, and it was not as much as consciously doing it, as much as I had her in my freaking head, and I wanted to do like uh, a heavy metal type of fucking thing, and it
Uh huh.
just came up to look like her, and I just went with it.
Yeah.
Like I get
It
like
is
the hair
so
came out, like
beautiful.
see, look, the
Oh,
hair, the look, her
gorgeous.
face,
Yep. The hair, the look, the face. Julie Strain, absolutely gorgeous.
and I made sure
Absolutely
she was
gorgeous.
taller than the other guy.
Yep.
She's
Story
towering
of
over
my
the guy.
acting career right there.
Like
Taller than the guys,
it didn't start with it, but it became it.
Right. Oh, that's so nice. It's so
And
beautiful.
to finish that little preview, you see her coming in full armor. You see then they teleport, and this is what happens. And we don't mess around within the first pages.
Yeah.
Then you see
Wow.
her on the ship, body pieces everywhere, and then you see those little things forming from the blood and the mist.
Crazy.
And that's how it starts. Then you have this here. That's the preview, Nashcan preview of Blood Hunt 2, which, like I said, I already have like the almost 80 pages done on this in black and
Right.
white. and it's going to be
Right.
black and white to go with the first edition.
Yeah.
And this is a 22-page ashcan. And the thing with my ashcan is they might seem a little pricey because they're like 20 to 25 bucks US or something like that.
Uh huh.
20 25 bucks US, I think. But they in cardstock cover. There's
Uh huh.
22 pages in it, and they come with a sketch in the interior back cover.
Wow.
So it's it's like it's not that expensive when you're thinking about the fact that it comes with art in it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No, that's
And
cool.
you get the links of everything that I do, my web store that's powered by Shopify, so you can trust
Uh
it.
huh. Yep.
So yeah, so there you go. Been over my campaign.
Awesome.
So
That's
please,
so
people, consider
cool.
going back in it because, like I like to say, I've been saying this for years. Okay, we may us creators, we may be the dreamers, but you guys are the dream makers. Without you, we can't do this
Yep.
shit.
Yep.
Without your support, without you buying our books, supporting us, we can't do this.
Yeah.
So I've been saying it for years. We're the dreamers, but you're the dream makers, and thank
Love
you.
that.
And I
Thank
like to
you,
thank
everybody.
everybody.
Yeah. That's awesome. So,
Now I'll run you the trailer like you asked. Give me a second. Let me
yes,
just go
please.
directly on my channel. I'll go my YouTube. Then I'll stop the share. Share with audio. Give me a sec.
Okay.
And here we go. And here's the trailer.
Mysterious ship of express signal salvaged.
Hold on, that's not the right one.
Okay. I was going to
It's
say no sound either.
Yep. Give me a second.
Okay.
And let me stop this again. And I'm gonna go directly get it on my. Just close the entire thing. Give me a fraction of a second. I'm almost there.
And thanks for
The
watching,
video.
everybody. Really
Yes.
appreciate you being alive with us today. This has been amazing. It's Sim's birthday, so this is a great birthday present for him.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
That's what I said. The last post, I'm like, wouldn't it be awesome? I get funded with it on my birthday
on your
on
birthday, and
Kickstarter,
then he goes to
and
his campaign, and it's funded. We love that. Yay!
and here it
Exciting.
is. Now, let me know if the audio is fine.
Okay.
Mysterious ship of express signal salvaged to email.
Nope. I
Welcome
mean,
to Hellzone.
now it is.
Streets we journey on the chilling cold. A signal breaks the silence of fading strolls. Scarlet morning lights flashing past the four-rolling spell. The derelict full of wild in a million swell. Full of ghost ship is quiet as a tomb. All's whisper secrets wrapped enduring gloom. Boots echo through the corridors, search for sight. I stay in the shadows, searching for the fight. In the shadow, find no sign of light. The search for signals that could through the endless night. Of its team, of with steel and might. Teams looking ready for the fight. Welcome to the Hellzone, graceful ride. Big guns ready, there's no place to hide. Symphony of chaos, all collide. In this twisted, haunted metal tide.
That's awesome.
And I did, and I had to, and I came up with that little video in a few hours.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Like, this is the kind of stuff, like, I make little videos for whatever, and it's like, 3 days later, I'm like, and then Sim takes something, and he's like, oh, and by the way, 20 minutes later, it's done. That's the difference between someone who like knows how to work it and someone who's just like kind of tinkering around with it, like me. But yeah, go support his campaign. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This has been absolutely awesome. We will be back again. Go subscribe to our channel, Into the Movieverse, over on YouTube. You will find that over there, Into the Movieverse. And the trailer is on there so that you can see that.
Yep.
And stay tuned because we are going to be producing these shows and we're going to be putting them on the channel. And then we'll be live streaming probably once a month and then broadcasting the show once a month. So we'll be maybe twice on the channel every month, but we're going to build this
I think
thing.
the idea is to do one to try and do one video of
Do one
a
video.
review
Yep.
a month,
Yep.
and then one stream.
And then on one stream. Yep.
And on the stream,
So
these will be where we'll try and get some interviews,
it's some
chill with the
interviews.
chat.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna share this in the if you want to share it on the other ones. But here's also the sign up for the next book.
There you go.
Like the sign up
Cardinal
for
sin.
the Indiegogo, it's Blood Hunt 2, Cardinal Sin. Yes. So this will be going live not too long after I'm done with fulfilling this book.
Fabulous.
And this is me
Fabulous.
going back to my babies. Because
Yeah, going back
even
to
though even though like it's one of my babies, the other one, but it's like Hellzone. I mean, it's something that started
right.
with a friend. It's something. It has nothing to do with my universe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm going back to my babies.
Go back to the babies, baby. Yeah, and it's kind of like the same for me. I'm like, what am I even missing the last couple of years? And it's just being out in front of people and being live and
Hmm.
being, in an environment that I love being creative and I love putting out information and I love, collaborating with someone who we have the same interests,
Yeah.
So Into the Movie Verse is going to be a lot of
Well,
fun.
it's like last time. I
I'm
also tried to
excited.
get you. I also tried to motivate you into getting into writing again and writing that story of yours.
Yes, yes, because I have a story that I started writing like over 10 years ago and I need to
Yeah,
start writing. I
and that
need to
was one of the first
finish
moment I
that
told her to
writing.
practice
Yep.
the finish not perfect, and she needs to get it done.
Yes, need to get it done. And and it's
And
fun.
one of the advice I would tell you: come up with a little intro story that could be
Yeah,
short, sweet,
yeah,
and that's it.
yeah. Well, and what's really interesting is just having interaction with you and with, a couple of the other comic book artists that I know. I was like, well, what if you just made each of the characters their own comic book so that they have their own each character kind of gets explained
That's what I'm doing in the
in
adverse. Yeah,
their own comic book. So, or just even in their own short story, because there's 12 main characters of this story, and it's like, okay, so you got to have 12 different, you know, chapters of them and who they are and where they came from, their backstories, right? So that it's
but that's
all
what I'm telling you. It's like
works out.
technically you have your big story, right? But you
You
can
have the
write a
big
short
story,
story.
and
You can
then
just not make a series, but you can make a short story of all the
yep,
characters, introducing them, which leads to.
yes,
And that's one of the things that people have been doing in movies. Sometimes it's, oh, here's a movie, here's a little prequel telling you a story about that guy, here's a little prequel about that person. So you could do that the other way around.
yeah. Yeah, so and it's a great story. Like I'm like, just write it, just keep, and I've written
Get
part
it
of one
done.
chapter, so it's like
Yeah,
it's getting done.
get
It's
it done.
okay. Fine. All right. Thank you all for watching. If you're watching the replay, pop a replay in the comment section. Go check out Sim's campaign and wish him a happy birthday and follow his page and follow our new page Into the Movieverse. And we really appreciate you being here. We will be back with Into the Movieverse very, very soon.
Yep. Yeah,
Yes.
we're picking out the first movies we're going to be
That's
doing,
right.
and we're going to try and get at least 2 to 3 shows
Two to
done
three
ahead of
shows
time.
under our belt, and so we'll be able to rock and roll.
Like
Boom.
the only thing I have left to do after that would be like little minor editing. I want to start doing a
Yep.
shop. I might do it on my web shop though, maybe for the beginning, because
Yep.
otherwise it's paying for a web store. But to sell T-shirt
Yeah.
of those drawings I do for every freaking thing. So
Yeah.
imagine every show we're gonna have. Let's just say we're
We'll
doing
have something
Robot
special.
Jocks is gonna be me and her in cartoon mode into the
That's
movie
right.
thing, and we'll make a T-shirt for it.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, have a great rest of your birthday.
No,
And
thank you.
everybody else, have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. And since it's already Thursday, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. And we will see you all happy May, like happy May. Hopefully it's spring where you're at because we're still trying to figure it out here in
Yes, it
Wyoming.
is here. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, we're still
What I
trying to
love
figure
about it's what I love about my birthday.
Yeah. Spring. I mean, it's like it's cloudy today, but it's not super well, it's not really, really that warm. So, anyways, all right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We will talk with you all later.
Later.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.